everyone, welcome here in this beautiful place. So we will talk about it a little later. So my name is Corinne Menego. I'm the General Manager of Paris Je t'aime, the tourism office. So I know some of you already. Welcome to this third edition of the What's Up Day and this talk. And thank you to all our partners that were with us today, and that you will see them around you've seen them for 2 days for those who are here, and you will see them again tonight. But thanks to Cisco, and we will have a general manager with us just afterwards to host the event here. But also thanks to Visit Choose Paris Région, Accor, Ikebana, and all our transportation partners like Eurostar, TGV Lyria, Air France, and La Compagnie Airline. I hope you had fun for these 2 days because you were with us. For those who are here, but welcome also to our online auditors, which are, I think, 250 or 300 people. So we're going to try to share the experience with everyone, not only the ones in the room. And we will have a round table with some guests here in 3 sequences around the legacy of the Olympics, because as you all know, 2024 is a particular year for us in Paris. So it is an important year, and we're very happy to welcome you for this event. And just before coming back to the roundtables and to the Olympics itself, I just want to share a few numbers, maybe about Paris, just to remind you, because we're a very attractive city, as you all know. So we're quite back to the numbers of 2019. We're just minus 4% in 2023. So I think it was a huge challenge for all of us, and we've achieved that. So we're very happy with all the professionals that are working with us on that. The point is also on the business tourism that you all know, but we're quite back to the numbers of 2019 also, because we're quite minus 10%, especially for the big trade shows that you all know also, like design, fashion, food, and whatever. So we've got quite a lot of major trade shows actually hosted in Paris, and quite a numbers of events that we're hosting. As a reminder, we welcome around 110,000 corporate events each year, which is amazing. All sizes, congresses, corporate events, trade shows, and everything. So of course, it's important for us to focus on this business tourism. It's 50% of our economy in tourism, so huge challenge also for us, and to work better with you also, just to welcome a lot of events here in France. We are still at the first place in ICA ranking, so I know this is important also for you. And so let's go forward. Coming back to the Olympics, you know the 2024 year will be a huge year for us. So the countdown has begun. So we're counting every day. But what's important is that it will be a mediatic event ever. We didn't host such an event. I think it's happened only once in a lifetime. So I'm very happy to have the tourism on board for that, because I'm here. 4 billion viewers, a lot of Olympic nations, of course, 15,000 athletes. So it's a lot of people coming in Paris, seeing in Paris. And even if we have a little less people on site, don't forget that it's viewed by everyone in the world. On site in the city, 11 million visitors in Paris for the Olympics, and approximately 4 million for the Paralympics. What's important also just to know, and I will have finished with that, it's a little counterintuitive probably, but not so many foreign people like in a normal summer, I would say. So quite the same numbers that we were welcoming in a normal July and August summer usual. 30% to 15% of foreign visitors for the Olympics, and a little less than 10% for the Paralympics. But what's important is that involve the local people also, all the residents, the national, and this is really key for us also in terms of legacy tomorrow. And so we will talk about legacy, and I think this is very important also. We've been working at Paris Je t'aime on different courses, and I would say that visitor experience is probably the top priority we're working on, and this is probably the major legacy that we will have afterwards. So with the Hospitality Manifesto, because we're working with all actors in the tourism industry to work to enhance the experience for the visitors and be sure that we host everyone, we welcome everyone the best possible way. So in terms of ecology, in terms of sustainability, in terms of inclusion, but also in terms of visitor experience, and in terms also on local economy and local contribution. I think this is really the key word that we've got also to remember about these games, and I'm pretty sure that we're going to talk about it just later with our guest. The visitor experience, just a few words on that. We developed a web app, which is myparisjet'aime.com. I think you had the QR code to flash it during your 2 days here. And for the others, we're happy to just share it with you. But it's a geolocalized application that will help all the visitors to come around and see what's just around you and help you also discover probably some new faces of a city. So not only the big monuments, but probably do 100 meters on the right, and then you can see the best bakery in Paris or something like that. So the best artwork. So everything about local economy that we want to promote during this Olympics. So it will be happening for the Olympics, but of course it will last afterwards. And we will speak specifically of the handicap version because we will talk about accessibility, which is a major legacy also of the Games for us. And Spot 24, last word, the flagship that we're in the process of opening, and you will discover it tonight for those who are with us tonight and today. For the others, we're waiting for you guys to come to Paris to see it. It's the Olympic exhibition, co-produced with the foundation, the Olympic Foundation, on new disciplines for the Olympics. So very dedicated to sport and urban culture, like surf, the skate, the breaking, the basket 3-3, and so on. So you can try that tonight. I know some of you tried something this morning, I think. So you can just do the experience also. Okay, so let's go for it. 3 sequences. The legacy of the Games, how it was an accelerator for the transformation of a city. The meaning of choosing Paris, because I'm pretty sure that when you choose a destination like Paris, that means something for your event also, where as you're a business owner, you can say it. And how we can contribute more and more to local economy when you have an event in Paris. So as usual, as I was saying, questions online, you can ask anything you want. We will take 2 questions per sequence online and 2 questions in the rooms. And so let's go for it. Welcome to our first guest. So I will take the opportunity. So happy Women's Day, because it's the Women's Day tonight. See? So welcome, Marie. So I will present very shortly our guest, but Marie Barsac, Executive Director of Impact and Legacy at Paris 2024 Organizing Committee. And I know you were part of a candidacy, so you know very well the subject, and you were working with Pierre also on that, so you know each other. Pierre Rabadan, who has a double role here. So he's the Deputy Mayor of Paris in charge of sport, Olympic and Paralympic Games, and the Seine, and also my president. He's the chairman of Paris-Je-t'aime. So thank you, President, to be there also for us. And he's a former rugbyman, so he knows very well about sports and collective and everything, and team spirit. And Xavier, who's also with us, VP Global Sales Sustainability at Accor. And we will talk about sustainability and essentially handicap and disabled and accessibility. So thank you to the 3 of you to come here. The legacy of the Olympics is a very huge topic for us here in Paris. So I'm pretty sure that Pierre will talk a lot about that. But it's also the opportunity probably to promote the values of the city that we're carrying on. So everything about sustainability, accessibility, every effort that we've made about cycling, low carbon mobility, things like that. So I think it's really important also for us just to be aware of all these efforts. And of course, these efforts are not only for the Games, they will last forever afterwards. So this is really important. Pierre, you've been working for some years now on the Games. What would you say what's the first priority in terms of legacy?
Hello, everyone. Firstly, nice to be with you today. Thank you for the question. It's hard to have just one point, but maybe the long-term and positive impact could be possibly the acceleration of the transformation we need as a city. And we use the organization of Olympic and Paralympic Games to accelerate some different points. You spoke about the cycle pass, for example. With the games, we were able to do 60 kilometers more than we had if we don't able to organize the games. We maybe have a strong legacy in the north of Paris, where we will have the only new venue building inside Paris, and it's really changing the hunter in Paris when you come from the north, where this suburb needed to have a lot of change, and the connection with the Seine-Saint-Denis, the department just close to, need to be changed, and the building of the new venue of the Adidas Arena or La Chapelle Arena will help a lot on that way, and we were able to change that in just less than 3 years. So it was really important, and for sure we have an immaterial legacy. Marie will speak about it because we work on together since now 4 years, and with a lot of positive results. But maybe I had to put you in mind that we try to work on the getting out of single plastic use, for example, for the games. That's another massive thing to organize. But this will have a strong legacy just straight after the games, because all the events, sports events in Paris, not will be possible if you're using single plastic use. So that's another opportunity. So we try to make a different thing, but maybe the most iconic legacy we'll have and will not be able to do without the games will be probably the quality of the water of the River Seine, and the possibility to make the official competition in. And for sure, and maybe most important thing, to being able to have a swimming area in the summer after the Olympics starting 2025. So we try to involve the population in the concept of our games, but the really massive thing is to having a long-term legacy that people are able to feel it when they live in that city for a long term.
But there are quite a lot of projects on the slide just after that, but projects that enhance the experience on the city. You talked about the Seine, but there are some refurbishing also of Grand Palais or the Champs-Élysées that are re-enchanted also. So I think these dates of the Olympics was also a way of probably accelerating this transformation.
Yeah, sure, we have a lot of renovation. I'm not able to say everything because I
don't have the time.
I had a meeting just before, and we work on the 70 renovation on new construction for the games, and we are on the right timing and on the right budget, and that's
on time.
Very good point for the games too. This is the opportunity to speak about the accessibility, because all the renovation we did will include for sure in the first term the accessibility of these places for sports venue or iconic venue like a Grand Palais or many other points we will use for having an official competition venue for the games, because our concept is coming in the center of the city.
And I know one of the main topic also, we will discuss that together, but is also to develop the sport activity for everyone, which was one of the peak legacy things that you wanted to promote with the candidacy. So where are we with that? Can we maybe more infrastructures in the city also? And
for infrastructure, not so much, because inside Paris we have a problem. Is we miss spaces. So that's why we decided with Mayor Anne Hidalgo to put the strong legacy and build a new venue for sports, especially outside of Paris in Seine-Saint-Denis, dedicated place for that. But in Paris, we have the new arena for sure with two new gymnasium with the arena, and we renovate like 9 on 10 big sports venue we had,
Yeah.
and we try to put sustainability connections on the venue like Bercy Arena and other things to improve and getting down on our carbon impact on the long term for long years after that. So we try to work on accelerate and improve all what we are able to do on the venue we dedicated for the games. And but in general, we work more on the impact in the city outside of sports venue, because we have a part focus on the sports venue, but we would like to have an impact on the general living of the everyday people with cycle lane we spoke about a lot. We will have Olympic lane who will become dedicated for the, I don't know how do you say that in English, le covoiturage? Co-driving?
Co-driving?
Yeah.
Co-driving.
Thank you.
We've got some supporters here in the room.
Everybody is following. Thank you very
Okay.
much. So I finish on that. I can be better.
And so, Marie, can you tell us about the program Be Heritage? Because you've got so many projects with a foundation and everything, so maybe you can explain the global ecosystem of that?
Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. And yes, we decided to have a dedicated strategy for legacy. And in order to do so, we built an endowment fund in 2020. And we opened up the opportunity to our stakeholders to finance this endowment fund with us and to support projects led by associations, cities, national agencies also, and clubs, of course. Because we want to leave a legacy for the sports movement. And those calls for projects launched by this endowment fund, today we are very happy about that. We have more than 1,000 projects which have been financed. And all those projects are socially innovative. And some of them are led by sport federation, some by the city of Paris, some by Seine-Saint-Denis department, and some others, like I said, by clubs and associations. For the city of Paris, we have several projects, and it has been very interesting to launch innovation. And for us, the objective was to use, if I can say that, Paris like a laboratory to inspire other cities in France. And that's exactly what is happening, because the program that Paris launched was very powerful. They have already measured the impact of those programs. I will give you one example. One of them is called Paris Sportif. Perhaps if you visit Paris those days, you've seen the stickers of this program. It's a program dedicated to women to practice sports in sports public areas where, before this project, 85% of those places were used by men and not women. So the objective was to support associations that take in charge animation and occupation for girls, adults, and teenagers to give them the opportunity to be in those places and to practice sports. And this is an emblematic program because it's another way to live together in the city and to our more balanced equality between men and guys. Other program perhaps we can talk about is Paris Sport Senior. It's free opportunities for senior people to practice sports with coaches, and also Paris Sport Dimanche, an innovative program to open up the opportunity to practice sports for a family. The parents are practicing sports with dedicated coaches while their kids are practicing in the same time sports. And you don't have the question of what can I do if I want to do sports? I have my kids, I can't play anything. So those programs met their public. I think you have lots of people that are very motivated to participate to those programs. And we shared those programs to other cities with our network of Terre de Jeux, which is a network for cities that we engage. And it's already a legacy. And I think for the city of Paris, we're already discussing to the future of those programs. And we also open up the discussion with our sponsors, not with Accor yet, but with some of them, to see if they want to support those initiatives, if they want to engage women or elderly people or more generally people, inhabitants in a city.
And it was also
I just,
yeah.
just
please
add something,
feel free to jump in if you.
because all those programs are for sure free for the users. So that's why they come to discover an activity, a sports activity, and if they come back several times after we made connection with the clubs for maintaining this practicing after that. So that's not just one step or one test to develop sports, but it's following up during all the year. And for all users, those programs are totally free. And that's why when they are far away from the sport, they come to have tests because they have nothing to pay. And after, we have to keep them in and go with them to the club.
That promotes the values of inclusion that we want to share. So you also have some sustainability challenges, I think, and environmental challenges. That was a goal for the candidacy, anything. So you talked about the zero plastic for unique use, which is a major cause here. And all the members of Office de Tourisme of Paris Je t'aime have signed the charter to do that. So we're hoping that it will spread out everywhere. But I know you had also something about the greener electricity, things like that.
Yes, exactly. We connect all the sport venues, which are temporary, to the classical electricity. No generators anymore. So that's brand new. And that's important because in terms of legacy, it means that it will continue after for a long time. For example, the concert at the Eiffel Tower every summer, which is using generator until now, will use generator after 2024. And with our sponsor, Engage, Enedis and EDF in this project, we also open up the opportunity to finance such experience with 300 cities in France. Again, our network of Terre de Jeux cities, which is also very important to showcase that if we can do for the games, we can do for every event, for sport event, but cultural event also, and not only in Paris, but we want to have an impact for all France. So that's also very important to engage our sponsors to help us to be active, not only in the host cities, but everywhere in France. We also have emblematic solutions. For example, in France, if you go to a football match, soccer match, you can't take your reusable bottle because it's forbidden. And we ask to have an exception for the games because we want to use a reusable bottle and not plastic bottle. And we managed to have that, and we are trying to discuss with the government to the legacy of this program. I don't know if it will work for the football, but probably for other rugby, perhaps it will be possible. Yeah. We will see, but it's a discussion that has been launched with the games, and very interesting in this issue of plastic. Again, to that issue, we also discuss strongly with our sponsor Coca-Cola, and they agree to reduce the plastic use also, and to provide some fountains. And so for all the venues, it will be 300 fountains that will be at the disposal of those venues for the games.
We have more water fountains.
And that's what I want to say after that. And of course, the city of Paris has the same objective to propose fountains. And we will provide a campaign. Tap water is top water, because in lots of the visitors, they don't know that we can drink to the Paris fontaine. So we will have also this promotion for the use of the fontaine of the Ville de Paris.
And Xavier, that was also, the games are also a huge leverage for us for accessibility, for working in the city, and Pierre will talk about that, but you can maybe share your experience with that, because you're a partner for that. You've been working hard on different subjects and topics internally for your teams, in terms of training and different things. And I think this is really interesting to share that.
Yes, we work closely first with Paris Je t'aime in order to make sure that all our hotels within Paris have the right structure and the right ways to welcome and host our guests with disabilities. So it's something that did not start right for the games. We started years ago, but it's a key milestone. The games are a key milestone. It's the opportunity for us to really look and make things a little bit better in terms of teams, the way they behave, and in terms of equipment. So yes, we have 3 different steps that we have in terms of training our teams. We have an opportunity for 40,000 employees within the entire territory to be trained online and in order to make them aware about what is needed to properly welcome our guests with disabilities. That is the first step. Then after, we have like a partnership with Tourism and Handicap, that all our hotels have the capacity to go through a self-assessment. They answer to a questionnaire to make sure about what do they do right, what they do wrong, what can be done better. And we provide them with all the information to make things better. The idea is to be certified after an audit made by Tourism and Handicap, to be certified and visible to our guests tomorrow, not only again for the games, but then after, to be visible as being accessible for the different disabilities. So in terms of figures, quickly, our target for the games is to reach 300 hotels to be certified. They are really on the key spots within the host cities and nearby all the venues, the key venues. And in terms of legacy, we want to have 100 of our hotels in France, which is around 1,700 hotels, to be certified by Tourism and Handicap.
Because I was going to add that the data is so important for this type of people with specific needs. In fact, you have got to have reliable data. And this was exactly the challenges that we had together during the audit that we did together. And I take this opportunity just to tell that the web app that I was talking about, the myparisjetem.com, has also a specific version for handicap, which is filtered by type of handicap. So you can access to every monument, museum, hotels, restaurant, whatever, where we have the reliable data that you can share. And so you can organize your venue and everything. So, and this is really valuable, I think. So.
One key thing is to go through a third-party certification body.
Yeah.
This is also our strategy for the entire sustainability strategy within Accor about labels for all our guests, is to say that what we say is true, the
Exactly.
value of the data, yes.
So maybe before going further, I would like you to see the video that you made, because I think that was very interesting, that designs the journey of someone with specific needs with real people, for real. And so this is really interesting to share.
Votre métier consiste à accueillir tous les clients dans les meilleures conditions possibles. Et évidemment, les personnes en situation de handicap, qui sont de plus en plus nombreux à voyager à travers le monde, doivent être accueillis dans les meilleures conditions. On va vous partager plusieurs vidéos de parcours clients aux besoins spécifiques. L'objectif, il est très simple, nous permettre d'adopter les bons réflexes à chaque instant.
Bonjour madame, bienvenue à l'hôtel. Ah ok. Bonjour. Nom. Votre nom, s'il vous plaît.
La plus grande difficulté pour les personnes sourdes et malentendantes, c'est vraiment la communication. Toutes les personnes sourdes et malentendantes ont tendance à le lire sur vos lèvres. On ne panique pas. Vous pouvez juste nous parler face à nous et calmement. Vous pouvez aussi nous montrer les informations importantes de manière un peu plus visuelle et vérifier qu'on a bien compris avec bienveillance.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Hakim Ariski, je suis non-voyant et vous allez me suivre dans mon parcours client.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Mickaël Jérémiaz, ancien champion paralympique de tennis en fauteuil et porte-drapeau aux Jeux de Rio en 2006.
So can you tell us what was the purpose and how it was developed and for the people internally? So
Exactly.
that was a training tool.
That's part of the training I mentioned before, addressed to the 40,000 employees, that relates and explains exactly the client journey when being in a wheelchair with hearing issues or being with the vision difficulties. That's what's happening at the reception, what's happening when you go to the bar, when you go to the restaurants, when you enter your room, and be really practical and make our team on site aware about what we need to do and what are we doing wrong. Just to give you just one simple example, concerning the housekeeping, in our rooms, housekeeping are putting the shower head at the top on the shower. For people in wheelchairs, they can't reach it. So the advice in the video is to say, put it down.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's as simple as that.
Yeah, exactly. So just common sense.
Common sense.
In the city, that was also a huge leverage for us, just to transform the city also. Not only transportation, but all the city and the actors worked quite.
No, transportation is quite
it's a key
important
thing.
questions, and we're working on the buses line to being accessible for the games, and we will be ready for that. After on the subway and everything is not our competency, but new lines are accessible now, and maybe probably in the future it will changing. But on the city, as a city of Paris, whole city, as we know, patrimonial, historical one, we have a lot of to do. And for the games, we work on a dedicated suburb, especially in each part of the arrondissement of Paris, to take a universal accessibility example in each one and being able to develop it after the game. So we work on the taxis solution for the games too. We had something like 150 accessible taxis, and we will go up to 1,000 for games and try to find solutions to being able to have a better accessibility than all the new construction, as I said before. As soon as we start works somewhere else, if it's not accessible, it will be coming it. And just a last number, we had 33% of accessible venue for sports in Paris, and our target is to be 200 in 2026. So we really goes up quickly with the games, and that's maybe something you have to keep in mind. The games are the powerful events you can have in your territory, and it's pushing you really to find new solutions. And if you're late, to go on the to go forward, and you can't push. You can't say I will do it after. You have to be ready on a date. So you have to be better, and maybe works with partners of the games to try to find a solution for the world of tomorrow. And that was our ambition when we start the bid. Marie was already there, and me too. And 140 days before starting games, we have the same ambition. There is some difficulties in every project, even for the big one, but we keep that ambition, and especially on the legacy side, and of what will be accelerate with the games home in Paris in 2024.
So anyway, we will have to deliver, so that's cool. I know this program was also recalled internationally. So as you said, Paris was an example also. So you've got the first medals, so for sharing. So is there any question in the room or on the platform, just to finish this discussion on accessibility or something? So there is one here. We've got a few minutes. So I'm just running the time at the same.
Hello, my name is Andreas Mavromatis. The question I have, well, first of all, I would like to say congratulations on the amazing work you have been doing all these years, and good luck for delivering the Olympic and Paralympic Games this summer. I'm sure they're going to be very successful and memorable. I think, it's really great that, of course, there is a clear focus within the organizing committee about legacy, and great to see that you're working with the city, of course, in the private sector. I guess the question is, because we've seen many plans to actually fall through the cracks when the Olympic Games are over. The plans might have been there when the organizing committee will not be in place. So I guess my question is for you. What do you think the biggest challenge is going to be in order to maintain and actually materialize all these plans in the longer term for Paris?
Thank you for the questions. This problem was solved when we decided to run for 2024, because we start to build the bid of the needs of the territory. We don't start of the need of the IOC. And we said, okay, now we know that here, for example, in Paris, in the north of Paris, we need to have in Paris in general an arena for 8,000 places. We don't know exactly where, but finally we put it on that plane and we made it really quicker than if we didn't have the games. And we had exactly the same reflection on other new venue we are building in, and we know that we need it for a question who is far away from the game, but for the people, because they have a lake of it in those territories. So after that, we used all the venue we had already. Maybe we improve it, we made works in, and finally we decided to have temporary site in the center of the city, as it's our concept to complete our venues, to welcome, being able to welcome all the competition in the same time. So I know we have 95% of the venues who were already existing or temporary. So we just build 5%. And that's maybe the key to not seeing what we saw before in, I will not giving any name, in other editions before, to have a venue that after games were not used. So I'm really not worried about that. I know that sometimes we have the inverse problem. They say, okay, why would you don't build, for example, another biggest new arena? Because we can be able to have more spectators, more ticketing, but okay, but what will do it after? What will be the explanation of that venue? And so we don't choose that.
Marie, you wanted to add
Just
a quick
one
word?
example. It's not in Paris, but it can be interesting to you to know. We organize the swimming competition in the arena à La Défense, which is a rugby place normally during the year. Yeah, rugby in concert, and we have pools. So for these Olympic competitions and Paralympic, but we propose to give those pools to cities in Seine-Saint-Denis which don't have any pools. And we have worked on the economical model of this donation to be sure that there is a strong and robust capacity to the municipality after the games, but after not only 1 year, but 10 years after the games, to finance the use and on a daily use those swimming pools. And it has been very anticipated because we have, like Pierre said, some other edition in mind where it hasn't worked so well because the anticipation was not enough. And we signed agreements with the IOC to be sure that the money that we plan will be on the table after the games. So that's also a key.
I will stop that. I'm sorry because I think we had another question, but it's a very short one because we're running late. So do you want to? Okay. We can't hear.
Our internet audience. A question from our internet audience about perimeters, and our favorite topic. Will it be possible for tourist coaches to circulate in the red zone with permission or authorization?
Short question, short answer. Yes, it will.
Yes. Okay.
With derogation.
Thank you. Okay.
And I can explain that.
Thank you to the three of you, and happy to have you on board. And we're looking forward to next summer. So thanks again.
Thank you so much.
And so I will welcome the next panel with our guest. So please join me during the little video that you will see. So thank you for joining us. So Laurent Degré, VP and General Manager at Cisco France, who's our host today. Boris Matosik from Auditoire, Marketing Director at Auditoire. You're an event agency, quite well known. In fact, I'm working on the Olympics, in fact, for some part. And Bruno Macquart, Chairman and CEO of Universcience. We've just seen the video of your magnificent location and very scientific and everything, so you will talk about it. So the idea here is just to exchange about how choosing a venue or how choosing a destination can be really meaningful, and you're not doing the same even probably in Paris than you do elsewhere. I won't quote anyone, but in another city. And when you choose Paris, it's probably for a reason. So maybe we can try to explain that and find the reasons why. So please, Laurent, because you're our host, so we're happy to be there. But you've renovated this building a few weeks, months ago.
Yep.
It was very short time before. So maybe you can explain also the position of Paris in your ecosystem and the choice also to have a building here in the center of Paris, because you're an American company. And so why Paris?
Okay. Thank you very much, and thanks for inviting me, by the way, and welcome to everyone. Just to get started with this, right, probably a few words about Cisco, just to tell you where we come from and to help you understand the why we ended up here. For those that are lucky, you're going to visit the building. I think you're going to be, it's going to be amazing. I'm really proud of it. But we are a company that is working in the IT telecom space for 40 years now. We kind of, to an extent, invented and deployed the internet as it is today. And we had an idea to change, to move our headquarters that was next to Paris at that time, where we stayed 25 years. And we had a couple of objectives behind this and criteria that we wanted to meet, if you will. And the first one was about our job overall, which is, as I told you, we're 40 years old. We have a lot of values and tradition now. We build the internet. But we also need to keep innovation. And one of the things that came up through the why here was basically, and to start with, we needed to have this mix of tradition and innovation. And to doing this, and we ended up basically here, because if you look at this building, which is a very old building from the 19th centuries that has been renovated overall with a lot of technology. If you look at Paris, it's all about tradition, history, museum, but it's also a fantastic ecosystem when it comes to startups, the French tech and everything, that our partners we work with. So it's this combination that I think is also reflecting kind of our values at the beginning. There was a criteria also about sustainability. And when it comes to sustainability, it's about having a green building. It was about leveraging the technology, but it was also basic things like, how do we better leverage public transportation, right? And if you look at where we are here as we speak, we have doubled the number of people leveraging public transportation. Bus, shuttles, train, metro, walking distance. And guess what? We have more than 90 people now using bicycle to come to the office. So we also thought about it as a positive impact when it comes to carbon emission and sustainability.
You're a good example for the agencies that are hosting some events. So you can follow the lead. So that's pretty cool.
And I guess also we are partnering with Paris 2024. We are providing technology, cybersecurity, which is a top-of-mind topic for many people, right? The telecom infrastructure, the collaboration tools for the journalists and everything. And we basically wanted to get right in the middle of the games.
Yeah.
And we are very close because we are right at the center, if you will.
And as a partner of Paris 2024, you had also some quite great goals about legacy also, and what you wanted to achieve with that in coordination with what Marie said, and Pierre and Xavier before. But I think this was also at the heart of your preoccupation on that. So maybe you can share with us also.
Absolutely. That was really a priority by Paris 2024, right? And for us as well, to kind of live with a legacy that was meeting the requirements. And if you look at it, the first thing I think we tried to doing, because those games are the games in the city, they need to be sustainable or green as much as we can, Olympics. But they're also the digital games more than ever. And when it comes to the legacy, the first thing we tried to achieve was to reduce, again, carbon emission, power consumption during the Olympics compared to the last event in Tokyo, Japan. And we basically, through the technology and the optimization of what we're doing, we kind of reduced by around 25% what the IT, cybersecurity, connectivity and everything is going to consume, which is part of the legacy. It's not all, but it's important for us. We also did something that we think are crucial when it comes to, you mentioned the north of Paris. We kind of signed also with Plaine Commune to kind of leverage what we do quite well, which is educating, training peoples in terms of technology to give jobs, right, around IT, cybersecurity, connectivity, networking, whatever. And we have a great academy that we put at their disposal to train more than 1,000 people, volunteers typically, throughout those games. And the other thing that I have top of mind, and I will probably forget something, Eric, but I mentioned about cybersecurity. We know, due to the geopolitical context, that we're going to be under massive pressure. We put the best of the technology and the best of the engineers in coordination with Paris 2024, the authorities and everything. And what we said was, we need to share, because we're gonna get learning on this as well, and we need to share. We need to share to the French tech, we need to share to university, we need to share with the ecosystem of partners, and that's also kind of part of the legacy for us to an extent.
Yeah, of course, and we often say that, you know, the importance of a local ecosystem. You were mentioning the startup system, the tech. Medical ecosystem is very huge also in Paris, and we have half of our congresses that we host in Paris that are medical. So this is important. You also choose, when you want to do an event, a place that corresponds to what you want to achieve, in fact. So that's always better if you have some people who understand your job, what you're doing, what you're working on, etc. And this is exactly what you do, Bruno, I think, at Universcience. And La Cité des Sciences and Palais de la Découverte, we will be reopening, are probably two very iconic spaces, location for that. Yeah, exactly, the new one. So maybe you can make us a quick update on the different places and where it goes and how it's linked to this scientific ecosystem.
Well, it's not yet like that.
No.
It will soon be like that. It's under renovation. So we have two locations in Paris. The first one is Palais de la Découverte, Discovery Palace, which was opened in 1937 for an international exhibition in Paris. And the other one that we saw just before is La Cité des Sciences et de l'Industrie, the City of Science and Industry, which is in the northeastern district of Paris, 19th district. What is our job? Our job is to engage people with science, technology, innovation, and to help them to become citizens by giving them ideas, tools, and open up their curiosity. Last year, we hosted around 2.5 million people from all ages and from all origins. They come from Paris, of course, but as well from the Île-de-France region and from France and from abroad. So what is to be done in our museums? First, you have things to see, but you can hear something, you can touch, because we are touchable museums, we are hands-on museums. You can make, you can experiment, you can play. Well, we are vibrant places where people are engaged with the museum, and not only as a passive visitors, but we want them to interact with our content. So we offer exhibitions, both permanent and temporary. We offer many workshops. We have a big submarine, the only one in Paris. which you can visit, of course. And we have a wonderful planetarium. And we have, the image went away, so I
saw
can't
that
describe
in
it.
the-
But
in the film.
yeah, exactly. So we have a lot of ways and facilities to help people to deal with science.
And would you say that the MICE events that are coming to you, corporate events, you host quite a lot of congresses, scientific summits, and things like that. They come also for that because you've got this immersion into the science industry. So
Yes,
it corresponds to what they want to achieve.
Exactly. We hosted 63 events last year because we have a conference center. You have seen some pictures of it, and which is famous for its sustainable events organizer, because we are very much engaged in the sustainability as a museum. So we have exhibitions on climate emergency, for instance, but we want to be sustainable as a company. So, for instance, when you go and visit our museum by bike, you have a discount on the entrance fee. That's an example, but we have many more. We want to tell people that everyone is responsible for the future. We want people to be empowered for the future. So as MICE is concerned, of course, I think we are an inspiring place. It's a place where something is happening, between the general public and science and technology. We're not only a showcase, a passive showcase, but we curate the relationship between society and innovation and the future. That's why I think we've more than often chosen by companies.
But they're choosing Paris globally for all that. Boris, you're working at Auditoire, and so you've got quite a lot of customers, of course, corporate events mostly. You're a partner from Paris 24 also. What would you say about Paris, about the choice of Paris for events? I know you've been working on a lot of very impressive buildings and achievements that we're going to see in some slides. But I know you're working hard on using, in fact, the identity of Paris to do something and pass some messages. So maybe you can just give some examples of that.
Sure. Thank you for the question. And yes, we are an international agency. We are born in Paris, so naturally we have an intimate relationship with Paris, and we are proud of Paris. And our goal is to be an expert in communication advising and also to lead our clients to their strategic goals and strategic meanings. So our role is not to just make magic, it's just to make experience that will change the behavior and the vision of the people. And I think we are so lucky to be in Paris, and we are using it every time. So why? I think lots of very, very accurate things were already exposed, but I will just say that first, as well, everybody knows the historical part of Paris, and it has an aura everywhere in the world as well. Each picture is speaking by itself. But Paris is an extraordinary melting pot. It's something that is mixing a lot of different trends, a lot of different thematic, and it's opened to corporate public, to general public, to PR public, and even to personalities, individuals. A lot of values, a lot of messages. It begins from the story as well. But when you go to Station F or to the technological part of Paris, it's absolutely breathtaking to see the innovation there is. And as well, we all know fashion, we all know restaurant, hostels, and things. But we have also in Paris a culture of sports, huge, immense, and we also have a lot of business hubs in Paris. You can meet a lot of partners here making business, and for our clients, it's a sort
And a recommendation in terms of criteria. We are looking for and analyzing the criteria, the strategic criteria of our clients, and it's easy, but I can say that there is no situation where we cannot match with Paris. it's incredible.
That's a good deal for us, so we're happy with
that's
that. But for example, coming back to the mixity of this culture and innovation, Bruno, during the Olympics, I think you have the Canada House.
Exactly.
So that was probably the purpose why they choose you.
The place.
The place, the location.
Yes, so they will be our host for the Olympic Games. So we'll be Canadian for a couple of weeks. We are very happy with it. I think they've chosen us because they wanted to have a close link to innovation and at the same time to be in a public place, because we have a lot of visitors. We have a lot of young visitors because we are very famous for children museography. And I think that's the place where they wanted to be, to host their guests and to say that Canada is a very vibrant country with many different communities and very much engaged in the future. So our images match perfectly.
And coming back to what you were saying, Boris, on the criteria probably for choosing a destination, what could we say? That the sense, you want to spread an image when you choose something. So this sense is more important now than the logistics, because before it was only the logistics, for example, a few years
Absolutely,
ago.
You're right.
Decades, maybe.
Our job was known to deliver for delivering food and beverage, put music and lights, and make party. But it's a little part, and nowadays our job is totally different. We are really in the corporate culture era. That means that not only the corporate communication, the public or consumer communication, the PR communication, they were different before. They are all mixed up today, and they are globals. So the corporate culture is something that is absolutely key for a client, and it is extremely important to make live this culture in the site and in the venues and in the experience we are providing. And we are lucky enough to have worked a lot with some venues like La Villette, an example, where we were delivering the Paris Peace Forum, which gathered more than 50 head of government. So it's kind of very important event, but also to make the celebration for Nike for the victory during the Soccer World Cup. And we are also proud enough to work with Cisco to activate all the Olympics with the maximum reflection thought. And we find in Paris a lot of roots. Because we were talking about CSR, it's absolutely key, and we are impressed from the working that were exposed just before, and we are taking support on it to surprise or invite, and it works every time. And technology the same. If you want to meet the youth and the diversity, you have a lot of quarter in Paris, totally different. So I guess it's more than meaningful, it's strategical.
And maybe, Laurent, to conclude also, but you talk about sustainability. Would you say that sustainability actually, and Bruno told that too, is a real huge priority number one in your choice? And same for the local ecosystem. You talked about the high-tech thing for you, but of course we've got also fashion, local. We can do plenty of ecosystem. But would you say that now it's the top priorities in your choices when you do something?
It is definitely top of mind and priority one and a half, if you will. But in our business, purpose is critical. But sustainability is everywhere. Sustainability in the what we do for the customers, sustainability in the what we're doing internally as well. And it is a top criteria. But just to get back on what I said as well when it comes to Paris, Paris is a unique place when it comes to, as you rightly said, history, tradition, events, and all these are innovation coming through. And with Paris 2024, it's going to be even further improved, right, when it comes to the venues, the public transportation, the everything. So it's kind of magic overall.
That's a good conclusion for me. Do we have any questions from online? No, in the room? Anyone? Do you want to add something? I saw you
Yes.
wanted to add something. So.
Yeah, we'll open in just beginning of July. We'll open an exhibition for families about dance. So please come and dance in the museum, which is
Great.
pretty unusual.
Yeah, we're going to come. Thank you so much. And let's just pursue the roundtable. Thank you. We're going to talk now on local economy with our two next guests. So please join me during the video of the Comité Colbert. Thank you, both of you. So beautiful film. So Bénédicte Épinay, your president and CEO at the Comité Colbert. You will talk about it. And Lars Allier, your hotel general manager of the H4 Hotel Wyndham in Paris Playa Resort. Did I say everything exactly as? Yeah.
Perfectly well. Thank you.
No, I was impressed with the film with, your sentence, the new sense of wonder. I think that's a beautiful way also of promoting the local savoir-faire and everything that we do.
For Paris.
Yeah, really? You lend it to me? Okay, I take it.
To use it.
Okay. So we're going to talk about local economy, and I think this is something I'm paying attention to because I think this is really key. Because the purpose is not to have so many events and do everything and not having some sense about it, like we were saying just before, but also that these events are contributing to our city and the destination and help people live better. So that means buy local, do something with a local. And we were talking about that with a journalist this morning, but I was saying being traveling is also discovering something else. If you travel and do exactly the same thing that you do in your home, what's the point, in fact? So I think the events are also exactly in the same way, and this is really something we're very attached to at Paris Je T'aime. So we've been working on the Hospitality Manifesto, as I was saying before. The idea is really to work on the sustainability, like we were saying, the visitor experience, but really the third item I'm really keen about is the local ecosystem and how we support this local ecosystem all together. And I think this is really key. So the Comité Colbert, maybe you can give us a few words about the missions and what you do with all the brands and everything.
Everything has been said in the video, but I can add just 2 words that we are the official body for the French luxury industry and the cultural institution, because you saw that we gather not only 93 luxury maisons among the best well-known, but also 18 cultural institutions like Château de Versailles, where everything started for luxury in France. Château de Versailles was, at that time, the best showroom for the luxury and art de vivre, and it is still the best showroom. And until the Eiffel Tower just coming to the Comité Colbert in January. So we are the representative of this maison in France, officially, on advocacy, but also abroad. We make a lot of exhibition abroad to promote this soft power represented by our brands and our cultural institution. What it's amazing when you travel, like I'm doing, when you meet people and you ask, can you give me 3-4 names of French things that you know? Probably one will be Mbappé now.
Especially now.
Yeah, but on second, probably they will say Dior or Chanel or Hermès and so on. So it's amazing to see how much we are really well known, how people envy our art de vivre. So it's my job is quite easy.
Mine also. Paris is a magical brand.
Yeah.
But it's part probably of our identity finally. So anyway, these brands are really some leverage of attractiveness for us at the destination. So we're very happy to work with you, of course, on that. And you're very also strong example of these brands investing the territory, not only in Paris, I know, but you can give some other example. I'm open to that. Mm-hmm. But some also on the different territory, and that will make the junction with you because we're going north a little. So we're just, dephasing the center of Paris a little this year. So.
Yes, when I took my position 4 years ago, we made a study because I wanted to understand what is the footprint of the luxury, not only in Paris. We all know that in Paris it's huge, but also in France. And I discovered that there are, in France, 188 territories of savoir-faire everywhere. Well, we all know the region of Champagne and wine and spirit, but probably we don't know that in the north of France, you have a valley called the Glass Valley, where we bottle 75% of the worldwide perfumes. You probably don't know that we have also a cosmetic valley in the center of France, where the future of the beauty is invented. The worldwide future of beauty is invented. And coming back to Paris, obviously the Fashion Week is the best fashion week in the world, envied by New York, by London and Milan, which are our competitors, but smallest competitors. We have to confess that we are the best.
Yeah, exactly. We have to admit that. I think we got to be proud of it. And I think the brands also invest very much in the territories. So like we see here, I think it's Aubervilliers, it's the 19e.
This one is the 19e, which is the headquarters of Chanel for Métiers d'Art in Aubervilliers, so north of Paris in the 19th district.
And what you were saying before when we prepared that is that some of these locations are really key for the territory itself because they employ so many people.
Absolutely.
They give some, credit to this territory. They invest a lot. So this is really important.
You had also, during the 70s, a tradition of workshop there. Yeah. So it's not, we reconnect with our history.
And Lars, coming to you, because you're also in this part of north of Paris, which will be in the center of the Paris 2024 Games, because you're at Carrefour Pleyel, so a little north. So maybe you can also explain, so you've got a hotel, newly opened, and maybe explain why here, because it's not so easy just, and it could be a challenge also, and how maybe you work with the locals and the territory around that, because I think the hotel anyway is a door on the territory, so it's very important to have this connection with the residents and the people. So how does that work?
Yeah, let's talk about, I will say again, about the north of Paris. We talked at the beginning of the session with the Deputy Mayor of Paris of Saint-Denis, just a few seconds ago with Aubervilliers, and we will talk a little bit about Saint-Denis itself and the Pleyel area. And we will talk a little bit about the H4 Hotel, the new H4 Hotel, and I have to share with all of us, this is a new destination for the north of Paris. We will be, in the coming weeks, for the opening, in the middle of everything, I have to say.
Yeah.
If you will be one of my guests and sleeping on a nice junior suite on the 25th floor of the hotel, you can touch the Stade de France on your right side, and you can see and even touch the Olympic Village on the left side. And you can see, of course, the Olympic swimming pool just next to the Stade de France. And in front of you, and this is quite nice to imagine in your spirits, in the front of you, you can see it on the picture, you can discover and enjoy the full view 360 over Paris and suburbs. So I have to say that this is a new place to be.
Yeah, and it's a real connection, in fact, between territories. So that's why also it's interesting, because you got the view in Paris, but what interests us also in this legacy of the games is how we increase the territory to talk about greater Paris and not only the smaller Paris, even if we're very proud of the smaller Paris, inner Paris, but how we can make the connection with the different territories. And so I think one of the places like that could be also a link with that, and we can use it as a leverage for that.
I have to say that I'm fully agree. And you know what? Because we will be really in the middle of everything. We were just talking about the Great Paris, Paris Je t'aime, and the Pleyel area of Saint-Denis. This is like a rebirth, I have to say. Everything is changing day after day, weeks after weeks, months after months, and most probably in the coming months and years, and when I say years, this is in 2 years or 3 years, you will not even recognize the area compared to what it is today. We will be linked to Paris and around very soon with the Metro Line 14 that will stop really just in front of the hotel. And for the coming years, all the new lines of the Grand Paris Express will stop at the Pleyel station, and the Pleyel station will be the biggest hub in regards of transportation after Châtelet-Les Halles. So we have to say that this is the new place to be.
And you've been working with the residents and the territory. I know you had something special about local artwork or artisan, or you're working on short circuit thing, or...
Fully correct. The H4 Pleyel will be quite a large hotel. We are talking about 700 rooms. You can eat, drink, swim, meet, and of course
dance.
sleep.
You can dance also.
And dance, because we will have one of the most beautiful ballroom for a convention center in Paris and around. But next to that, we have to also open the building, to open the hotel over the area of Saint-Denis. And we will make sure first that we will, let's say, enroll a lot of people of the area for the hotel. We are looking about 400 people to serve guests. And next to that, this is really on my top priority. This is, of course, to promote the area, to promote the culture, to promote the artists, and all the local players, the local manufacturers inside the hotel on sale to the guests or to be used as services or facilities. So that's really a big priority.
This is a huge legacy for us. And Benedict, coming back to probably the brands that you represent, they invested quite a lot finally in the territory, opening museums and things like that. So maybe we can talk about that, about the leverage that can also be used for MICE industry and MICE events, because we can host events in these places.
They invest a lot of culture since years, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, all our maisons have today heritage department, very strong. Many of them have museums in Paris. Probably you all know the Galerie Dior, opened months ago, if you didn't get a picture here. And the Galerie Dior followed the opening of the Galerie Dior, followed a big exhibition of Dior at the Musée des Arts Décoratifs, who was a huge success. Maybe the success of the exhibition in the Musée des Arts Décoratifs gave the idea to Dior to open this museum. But that to say that our maisons are really committed to culture through museum, through foundation, through support to museum, through subject of exhibition themselves. And we have this strong link with culture since Colbert, because you know that we bear the name of Colbert. Colbert was the piece of history. Colbert was the prime minister of the Sun King, Louis XIV. And what I say that because it was the first man who believed with a strong link between business and culture. And he was the builder of Château de Versailles. He was the builder of the Royal Manufacture. He was the builder of the first Academy of Culture, Academy of Fine Arts, and so on. So this link between business and culture, we feel it strongly in Paris. Yeah. I mean, you know, and the signature of Paris is also a strong link with our brands, because I think that we all have in mind that Dior is Dior Paris. Look at the logo. Dior Paris, Hermès Paris, the Ritz Paris. So the link with the signature of Paris is really strong. And my job is also to feed this link with the capital, to make it really real, you know, to nurture through exhibitions, so many things.
It's a strong, intimate relationship.
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
I think they can't be separate anyway. And that's why probably the Fashion Week is so strong here, because you've got this link in the city. And so exactly the same for events that choose to be in Paris. So you can leverage this link between culture. We are talking a lot about fashion or whatever, but it is not exactly the same. You were talking about culture into your hotel, but on this territory, you will be more on urban street culture, things like that, because, for example, they opened an hip-hop museum in Saint-Denis. So that would be probably a dynamic which is very different from some others. So that would be interesting to watch.
Yeah, fully correct. And for now, a couple of months since I have the pleasure to manage the hotel and the opening of the hotel, I'm really in touch and contact, I will say, on a daily basis with all the partners about culture, about environment for sure, about artists and all these kind of things, and urban culture. This is really something that is really key in this territory. So we are going, of course, to join our forces to promote all these beautiful talents.
So maybe to conclude the discussion, if you have anything to add, you can, of course, but what would be for you the major legacy of the Games, probably, because you're at the heart of the thing. So
Alors, as I said, just
your best dream, your wish about that.
Alors, this is really to participate and to be part of what I call the rebirth of Saint-Denis, Plaine Commune, the area around Saint-Denis, and the rebirth of the north of Paris. And the legacy and the objective, the target of the hotel, this is not only to be, let's say, an additional location to sleep, to eat, to drink. This is really to be a destination and to be part of this legacy linked to the Olympic Games, but also fully linked to the rebirth of the north of Paris.
So you won't take vacation anyway.
I don't think so.
You would be there. And Benedict, maybe a word for your brands also. Are they looking at the Olympics with enthusiasm or whatever? LVMH is a
LVMH,
sponsor.
of course, obviously,
It's
and
quite new,
yeah,
in fact. I'm not sure they were
but
sponsors before, so
I'm not going to comment the sponsorship of,
No, no.
of LVMH, which is a good news for the visibility of LVMH brands. What we've learned from the games in London in 2022 is that cultural luxury and cultural expenses were quite weak during the game, except, and this is interesting, except for visitors coming from winning country. I mean, each time a visitor from a winning country win, they go to
spend.
the shop and they spend. So
okay. So who's going to win?
but yeah. So, but in this case, we have really small numbers of foreign visitors during this game. Only 13%.
Yeah, exactly.
So we don't know.
But with high power.
Yeah, sure. And you know that in Paris, the luxury tourism represent only 2% of the overall tourism hospitality expenses, but accounts for 32%
of the expenses.
Of the expenses. So,
well, be
that's-
reassured because
Yeah.
we were with American luxury agencies yesterday night or 2 days ago, and they said that they had plenty of reservations and bookings coming. So
Yeah, but the last
let's cross
lesson
fingers.
we have,
We're happy with that.
the last lesson we have for the London Olympic Games is that just after the games, the expenses were like
of
that.
course.
So
Let's wait for it.
Yeah.
Any question maybe for our guests from the room or from the audience? No fingers, no hands, nothing.
Thank you to the panel. Chetan here from Micebook. I just wanted to ask the lady why you started the initiative, or what was the reasoning behind this initiative, which is obviously great legacy heritage to protect such valuable brands and history. But why did you start? What's your background?
the creation of Comité Colbert?
Yeah.
So the Comité Colbert was founded in 1954, so a few years after the Second World War. And the idea of the founder, Jean-Jacques Guerlain, the perfumer Jean-Jacques Guerlain, was to reopen the market abroad, which were destroyed by the war and deprivation, the years of war and deprivation. And also at that time, the brands were facing a huge shortage of talents in the workshop because a lot of artisans were killed during the Second World War. And they have to attract a new generation of talents. So at that time, the two objectives were first, reopen the market and push the luxury and the French art de vivre abroad, everywhere, first one. And second one, to leverage new talents, younger generation to this industry.
Thank you. Any other question from online? Okay, thank you to both of you. Thank you for having been there. I leave you. This is the end of the session. So happy to have shared all that with you. I hope you learned something. So this last part was much more history than we expected. So we happened to learn about a lot of things. I hope that now, when you will look at Paris, you will look at the diversity of the offers that we have and the diversity of possibilities that you have. And probably you will come for a reason, a real reason, just identified, and a good reason. So we are happy to contribute to find these reasons with you also. So your event can make also the difference. I think this is where we're committed all together. Is to make the best events we can and help them make the difference somewhere. And Paris has to be the leadership on that. So I will be very proud if we can be the one city that gives this opportunity to you guys. And so for those who are with us tonight, enjoy the party. I will see you there. So you will see spot 24. And again, thanks to all our auditors. So thank you for being there, attending. I hope you've been faithful because it's a long format, but we're trying to make it short again. And again, thank you to all our partners, and enjoy your time in Paris for those who are here, and see you soon. And Paris, je t'aime.